Playoff-style game, eh?
I guess. I wouldn't get too confident, though. This is not going to be the team you face in the playoffs.
What? We are clearly on pace to see each other in the first round.
No, I mean the trade deadline. We've already made a couple of moves. We're going to be a very different team.
A little early for that, isn't it?
Not really. Deadline's tomorrow, so...
What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, deadline's tomorrow. I think 3 p.m.
No, I thought I had weeks. Is Lindholm still available?
He was traded like a month ago.
Oh, all right. Well, what about Monahan?
Also traded, also a month ago.
Oh, God, they're gonna kill me. You know what? I can still get Hannafin, load up on some depth, maybe Duclair.
Well, Hannafin and Duclair also gone.
I can't believe this. Bruins fans are gonna burn this city to the ground if I don't do something. Unless
what?
What if something terrible happens? Something that results in there being no point to bolstering the team because it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Like what?
Something soul-shattering. Something that signals the end of the world, like a plague or the Senators looking competent.
Hey, boys.
Who's got a massive wang and just traded for Gensel? This guy.
That'll work.
Low-quality fans of a high-quality Bruins team that is a dub! Whew. As you might already know from the last video, I have not been well. One of the big parts of that, can't really catch my breath at all for a few days now. But, doesn't matter. We're going to get through this video because I missed what was the Bruins' best game of the past couple of months in that Toronto game just a couple of days ago. 3 days ago, whatever it was. I watched it in replay later, but even then, you already know the result of it, and it's harder to really focus in on some of it. And then I watch a good amount of the Edmonton game, and especially watch the third and the end of that, and disappointment, but not in the same way. Like, it didn't feel like a blown lead. It felt like a really bad bounce that prevented the team from once again understanding that they are capable of closing these games out. Like, the universe decided that one rather than... I thought it was a good effort. I thought it was a really great game. And now we have this one. And I feel like the universe made it up to me just a little bit. Just a little bit, right? Hey, buddy, here, Loqual. Have another fantastic game. Have a great one. Have what is the most entertaining game of the year, period. This was the most entertaining game the Bruins have played this year. Was it their best effort? Maybe. Shit, maybe it was. I mean, first of all, to all of the people who consistently say this team is soft, I don't believe they're soft. I've been like, I've said that all year. I don't believe they're soft. And some people do, and we'll argue about that, whatever. But hey, if you think they're soft, you at least know for a fact that they can play heavy, that they're capable of not being soft. Because one thing I could never call that team that I just saw is soft. Not for that 60 minutes. This was effort through and through. And Bertuzzi, apologies to my mother, who is a massive Bertuzzi fan and was heartbroken when we were not able to re-sign him. But Bertuzzi spent most of the night reminding us, hey, maybe it's not that big of a deal that we missed out on you. Maybe it's not that bad. The whole team did. The Leafs, we're 4-0-0 against them this season. Series sweep. That means jack shit for the playoffs. We see it all the time, where you swept the season series and then you get crushed and whatever. But the gifts that the Leafs gave us through this game, simply because there were pockets where they could not, however you want to phrase it, match what the Bruins were bringing. And I don't care if you're a Leafs fan in my mentions, if you're Steve fucking Dangle, I don't think you can argue with that. I'm not sitting here acting like the Leafs are a crap team. I don't think they are. I think the Leafs are going to have one hell of a series with whoever they face in the first round because I think they're talented. And I think if Wall gets hot and Wall's shown he can get hot, that's a real tough team to knock out. But for pockets of this game, the Leafs did not match what the Bruins brought. And the Bruins brought it for the whole game. The entire time. Even when they were on their heels a little bit, even when the Leafs did push back, there was no lack of physicality, no lack of snarl, no lack of finish. It was unrelenting pressure. It was amazing. What a great hockey game. What a fantastic, beautiful, wonderful game that makes your body hurt just watching these athletes do this. Seriously, I think I have bruises on my body just watching what Coyle did tonight. Incredible effort and want. I'm ranting too long about this, but the want to win this game in front of that 2011 team, they wanted it. They wanted it so bad, and I hate to do it. I've said it before on the channel. I hate to be like, well, they wanted it more. Oh, boy, did they. They did want it more. And let's start talking about this. The 2011 Boston Bruins were in the house. We were, and with some others as well, we were celebrating really the 2000s, the last 24 years. Yeah, 24 years. God, it's 24 years since 2000? Jesus. Anyway, I don't feel old by that at all. We were celebrating that whole era. And of course, the 2011 Bruins are a big part of that. Bringing the cup back to Boston, all that good stuff. Just one of the most entertaining teams. A team, by the way, that people during the regular season called soft a bunch. And complained about how they have the size and the ferocity, but they didn't use it. Just pointing that out. It's great to see the amount of guys that came out for it. You had Timmy Thomas, you had Chara, you had Seidenberg and Boychuk. So good to see those two. Andrew Ference, man. And Mr. Flip it to the Habs. The glove got stuck. It was a good night. It was really fun. And I think every single one of us had the same feeling. Don't refuse to show up in front of these guys. This matters. Win tonight. Win for this team. Show this team what you've got. Marchand, of course, the captain of the current team, was a young buck on that 2011 team who apparently got bullied a lot, Marchand's statement. If I'm a captain now, and I'm the only one left from that squad, I'm looking around the room like, do not fucking embarrass me, boys. We need to go. And they went. Boy, did they go. As for the Leafs, this is our fourth meeting of the year. We're 3-0-0 against them going into this one. Now, of course, you know we're 4-0-0. We know what they do well. Offensively, they're strong. Defensively, they're not great. They aren't exactly bad defensively. Their 5-on-5 analytics show a team that's middling at best. But with some inconsistent goaltending mixed in there, it can look pretty rough at times. This team probably goes as far as Wall can take them, and Wall's been a revelation for them. He's been great. He's looked really good for large pockets of the season, and that injury of his is probably the only reason this Leafs team isn't a little higher in the standings, just league-wide. I really believe that. They've also been playing hockey a lot better than us lately. I know we just beat them before this game, but they're 8-2-0 in their last 10, and they're 14-4-0 in the last 18. They've been winning a lot more than we have. That team is just hitting its stride. I think they kind of needed this one. Again, clean slate in the playoffs. It's really easy to get the room to get behind that of like, guys, regular season games, they don't matter. They're literally gone. Doesn't matter. But I think from a mental standpoint, God, Sheldon O'Keefe really wanted this one. And I'm sure Austin Matthews and Marner were like, God, we need to be able to beat this team. Didn't go the way they needed it to. For us, the lines: Marchand, Coyle, DeBrusk, Heinen, Zacha, Pastrnak, JVR, Geeky, Frederick, Lauko, Boquist, Brazeau. Brazeau is basically taking over the center role there. He switches with Boquist at times, so I don't know why it keeps listing as Boquist in the center. Grizz, McAvoy, Lohrei, Carlo, Wotherspoon, Shattenkirk, and then Swayman and net. Forbort remains day-to-day. He had just played, I thought, but he's day-to-day. Little suspicious. Because whatever we do, if you're moving money out, he's certainly the money you'd like to move out. We're going to talk about it a little later. This is probably going to be kind of a long review since we're already at like 8 minutes. But the defensive core looks so much better when Forbort's not on the ice. And I mean, not just because Forbort's not there. I mean, whoever he was partnered with looks better now. We'll talk about it. Oh, and a little reminder, we've got 2 more game reviews until I'm gone for 2 weeks where there will not be game reviews. I'm trying to figure out if I can make some content over there and see how that goes. I don't know. But let's talk about this game, shall we? Puck drops! Also, there was a bunch of people who told me that while I was missing reviews, they were shouting puck drops. I respect that. I respect the hell out of that. Keep it alive. I love it. 3:54 into the first period, we're all blown away. Because the Bruins are starting this onslaught, as we've already discussed, of physical play. And the Leafs weren't ready to handle it immediately. They just weren't. And it shows up when McCabe cross-checks Marchand in the face. Just below the face. We'll call it the neck. He cross-checks him in the neck. And that'll get interference. It sure will. But then McCabe doubles down by cross-checking Marchand in the face to get an extra 2. But this appears to be a missed call. It's a missed call because clearly both of these are on McCabe. And in my understanding, that would mean a double minor for that player, not a 5-on-3. But instead, they had called Nyes for roughing for the initial interference. But Nyes wasn't involved in that play as far as I can tell. So the refs gifted us a 2-minute 5-on-3, which was supposed to be a 4-minute 5-on-4. We'll take it. It evens out, I'm told, so we'll take it. And they made you think that they weren't going to capitalize on the gift. Late in this 5-on-3, there's like 12 seconds left of it. And it's good puck movement. Marchand on the right circle. There's been a lot of puck retrievals during it. Beautiful. He draws a defender away just enough to push his puck down to DeBrusk, who's to the left of Wall, and he's quickly going to send it across the crease. It's a standard triangle play to get it to Pasta, who is the wide open far side on Wall, and he's going to bury this. And it's 1-0, power play goal. The 5-on-3 was not wasted. Had they killed that off, this whole game changes, right? Us starting hot, getting the goal, getting the energy, the crowd gets into it. I think this was a big game changer. The rest of the period is tsunami after tsunami of the Bruins crashing down on the Leafs. They have their moments late in the period. They start to get a little mixy. They start to push back. They're getting in the offensive zone, making Swayman make a couple of saves, but it's one and done, and here come the Bruins again. And every time the Leafs clear this puck, every time they collect the puck behind their own goal line, there's a body. Every time there is a body hitting them. They are paying for every single exit out of their zone physically. I cannot stress to you how fun that is to watch. Because even when they get the clean breakout, that dude just got hammered for doing it. And the next time he went to get the puck, he got another clean breakout and he took damage again. And then that third time, oh man, he hesitated. He hesitated a little there. You make him check over their shoulder, the whole game shifts in your direction. 1:21 left of the period. Toronto, another gift. It's too many men. And we're going to go on the power play. Don't do anything with it. We're going to start the second with about 40 seconds on the power play. No dice on it. 3:31 in. McAvoy goes down after he takes a puck right to the nads. Looks like it hurt. Pretty frustrated by this. I have not been... Grizz lately, I think, has been a lot better. That being said, McAvoy goes down. The Leafs recover the puck. The player who does recover the puck gets to go one-on-one with Swayman, and Grizz decides to not do anything and just stands on his side of the ice, not really covering anything. And I'm really frustrated because McAvoy's on the ice holding his dong. It's what happened. And Grizz doesn't even react. I don't want Grizz to fight the guy. I want Grizz to defend the fucking net. I didn't think that was a big ask. Just watched it. Swayman made the save. It's going to stay 1-0. We'll take it. But Grizz, not good enough. 4:16 in. Nylander just loses the puck on the blue line. I can't tell if Frederick made contact with his poke check. It looks to me like Nylander just lost it. But Freddie was there in pressure, and it allows him to pick it up, skate down the ice. Nylander's either gassed or... I'm going to go with gassed. He couldn't catch up, and I was surprised by that. Either way, Freddie, from a distance, beats wall 5-hole. Those usually don't get in. Either way, we'll take it. It is 2-0, and Freddie, I mean, the way the crowd reacts, because Freddie really does embody that 2011 team in a lot of ways. Just felt right. It's 2-0. 5 minutes in, Coyle for slashing and high sticking on the same play. A double minor for 4 minutes. The way the McCabe should have been called. I'm not going to say the refs didn't benefit us in some portions of this game. I'm not going to be that biased, man. We got the better side of it. Either way, we go on the double penalty kill. We kill the first one. And with about a minute left of the second one, it's a great effort. And we're doing great. And Marchand forces a turnover and he skates it out of the zone, passes it to Heinen as they get into the neutral zone. Heinen collects, and Marchand's going to cut across him and stumble a little bit. Heinen tries to feed Marchand because they desperately wanted to turn this into an offensive play, not realizing that the defensemen were going for a line change. Heinen's pass is too far forward. Goes to the defenseman. Liljegren just gets to quickly throw this up to Marner, who's alone on that right side, gets an easy breakaway because the defense are switching out. And what was a brilliant kill off of one mistake turns into a 6-hole, under the blocker, perfect shot by Marner, power play goal for them. It's 2-1. A total boneheaded move. And you've given them life. And the Leafs start to push back physically. They're aggressive. They're in your face. This was one of those moments where you go, okay, this is where this team shows in a playoff style matchup where you're this physical. Can you hold on to this 1-goal lead? Freddie's going to go for holding. Penalty kill about midway through the period. Butt cheeks clench a little bit. We're going to kill it. And not only are we going to kill it, but with 3 seconds left of that penalty kill, Bertuzzi and Wotherspoon are going to fight. They're going to shed him. And Wotherspoon kind of gets his wheels beaten off. Doesn't kind of. No, he gets his teeth kicked in. He gets beat. And he gets beat bad. He needs some pointers on how to fight. I saw a lot of people being like, yeah, Bertuzzi held his arm down. I'm like, that's kind of part of the fight, man. You got to free your arms up to fight. I don't know. I've been in a fight or two before, and you don't really, after the fact, get to go like, you held my arm down. And he's like, yeah, I didn't want to get hit. I wanted to hold your arm down so I could hit you. That's part of the fight, man. He needs some pointers on how to win. He'll get better at it. I think he has to, because this guy's a lock right now for your defense going forward. I can't knock him out of the lineup right now. I really can't. 5:14 left of the period after an absolute circus of a shift. Included a shot off the post by Pasternak that I thought was in at first glance, but no. And Mitch Marner turning up this shot. He didn't take that shot. Look, I know the puck must have bobbled on him and you couldn't see it beyond the blade of the stick or whatever, but if this goes in, I mean, that's your 2-2 ball game, baby. The whole landscape changes once again. There's some breaks that went the Bruins' way in this one, but they kept pushing. They didn't stop pushing when they had the lead. The Leafs are good enough to open up those chances. They're going to get those chances. And the puck bobbled on him. Must have. I don't know why else he would circle the net here rather than shoot. Unbelievable. Because as soon as you saw it, you went, tie game. That sucks. And then he skated around the net, and we all laughed like a lot. After that shift, we're going to the power play. Gregor's going to go for tripping, or at least we should have been going to the power play. But Geeky's also going to get roughing here. He was throwing a bunch of punches over refs' heads. I get it. He deserved the roughing. Meanwhile, Reeves is yanking Lorai's helmet off and punching guys over the refs' shoulders, and he's going to get nothing. I'm not going to bitch and moan about the refs in this one. Again, it evens out. But man, that one was pretty blatant to miss it. Either way, 1:23 left of the 4v4. Tavares goes for high sticking. We're going to go 4v3 for $1.23, then 5v4 for 37 seconds. And during the dwindling seconds of the 5v4, Bruins get set up once again. Shattenkirk on the left point starts skating down the wall. Shattenkirk looks like a brand new man right now. He does. He looks like a new player. He's skating down the left wall. He's going to feed it to Zacha, who's just outside of the slot. Zacha's going to hammer this on net. Rebound comes out. Shattenkirk's right there again. He's going to collect and fling this directly across the crease to Geeky, who's at the bottom of the right circle. It was a wide open net. It's 4-1. It's 3-0. It's 3-1. 3-1. Whew. Doing my best over here. Power play goal. 3-1. Good job by Geeky, who's on a bit of a heater right now. I've been critical of Geeky, but he's wearing that Spoke B. I loved the signing and got real disappointed for a while. He's been playing great lately. I love it. there are still shifts that make me want to hit my head against a wall for him, but that's neither here nor there. Just over a minute later, with 1:37 left on the clock, pucks to the net. This is simple hockey. DeBrusk takes the zone. DeBrusk, who was absolutely brilliant tonight. DeBrusk takes the zone on the right side. He dishes this off to Marchand, who's doing a circle in that right circle. And Marchand's going to fling it up to Carlo. Get it up to the top of the slot. And Carlo goes, me shoot good. Hammers this. Blocker side. Sniper-Rooney and jeez, top corner. That's a 4-1 lead. 4-1, huh? Hilarious. God, I love that score. Who doesn't love that score if you're a Bruins fan? You're just going to love it. We go to the third period with a 3-goal lead. You would be forgiven for being nervous. I'll give that to you. 18 seconds in. We've already given up a grade A chance for Matthews in the right circle, giving him way too much room. Swayman makes the save. 18 seconds in, McAvoy is going to go for interference. It is clearly interference. There is no argument against this. I typed "don't do this" at the time, being like, don't let them back into this game. And we don't. We killed it. And then 5:29 in, Domi. This is the thing with this Leafs team. And if you're a Leafs fan, correct me, please, if you're still watching this video. They're down 3 goals. There's 15 minutes left in this game. You still got to believe you can win the game. You still got to believe that. And Domi and Marchand, in the offensive zone, get pinned into the boards. And Domi, with his back turned to the play, is just wailing on Marchand. Hilarious to the point where the puck comes back around to them and is in their skates, and neither of them realize it. Because Marchand's too busy getting jumbled into the boards, being touched. There's a lot going on there. Either way, clearly Domi's going to go for roughing or interference or something. And they do call it. We're going to go to the power play. Which you just, if you're a Leafs fan, you can't be okay with that. That can't be the pushback that you want, right? The pushback needs to be harder forecheck, finishing checks, not harassing a dude in the corner for 15 seconds while the play continues elsewhere. I just don't... I'd be pissed if that was my team's response there. I wouldn't understand this. Either way, we don't get anything on the power play. 5:43 left. The Leafs score, but only in spirit as Bertuzzi clearly kicked this puck in. Great accuracy, though. Nice boot. It was really bottom corner. Real nice. 1:31 left. Domi and McAvoy sort of fight. Goes to the ice pretty quick. I'm not really sure what happened there. But that's your 4-1 final. And let's talk about some game notes real quick. And they're sort of negative, but not really. They just have a negative twist to them a little bit. First one being, it's like you improve at 2 positions when Forbort's out. We mentioned it a little bit earlier. You can't... Forbort's been bad. And Forbort's not been as good as Wotherspoon. That's a clear... objectively, Wotherspoon has been better. I don't even know how you could argue against that. Shattenkirk, with Wotherspoon, or really anybody else, has looked way better when it's not with Forbort. And Shattenkirk has his deficiencies too. He's been frustrating at times as well. But I can't see how you can reasonably want Forbort back in the lineup when you're improving at 2 positions by not having him. Right? That feels obvious to me. That just feels real obvious to me. Don't put him back in the lineup. Sticking with the defense, I'm becoming a little less confident in having Lohrei in the lineup for this year's playoffs. I know, I hear you, and a lot of you are really disagreeing with me right now. He makes some really flashy plays that are awesome. And when he's on offensively, he adds an element that is sorely needed by this team at times. He got benched for about 6 minutes in the second period after a completely idiotic play where we're set up in the zone. He gets it on the left point, allows them to close in on him, and starts skating across the blue line, puts it on his backhand, and just tries to shovel it into the zone. It gets knocked down. It's a fast break the other way. It gets snuffed out. We're fine. But it's these moments where he has this confidence and lack of fear, which is great. But then he just, as the last man back, tries to make this play. And you go, dude, sometimes it's okay just to make the simple pass. You don't have to deke through 2 guys to pass. That's not a rule. It's not a rule. Lorai's play will cost us playoff games as it currently is. I don't think the offensive side has enough upside as it is right now to win us playoff games. I would rather have Lindholm healthy and Wotherspoon, Shattenkirk as your third pair, Grizz McAvoy as your top pair. Right now, that could change, but Lorai really needs to work some of that stuff out of his game because you can't afford gifting other teams goals. And that's what Lorai does when he gets a little too antsy with the puck on the blue line. There's concerns there. Other game notes. You can't play the way the Boston Bruins did tonight for an 82-game regular season. Physically, it's not possible. What this was, though, is the exact style they need to play in the playoffs. An absolute jackhammer offense. Relentless pursuit, forcing mistakes, and above all else, making the defensemen pay the price for exiting their own zone every time. That is how this team wins playoff games. This was the blueprint for it. You can't play it through 82 games in a regular season. We're not going to see it the rest of the way. It's not possible because physically you can't do it. You do need that effort 3 out of every 4 games in the playoffs. And that's what I hope they bring. Last little game note. If this was DeBrusk's last game in the Spoke to Be, I don't believe it was. But if it was, I sure am going to miss him. Because when he's on, he's so important to this team. And tonight he was on, and he was brilliant. Defensively, offensively, transition, neutral zone, you name it. Just gorgeous. Gorgeous hockey. Hopefully, in my book, that's not the case. But if it was the last game for Jake DeBrusk in the Spoke Be, we're going to miss you, bud. Truly. Go Bees. Go Bees! Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, but it is time to give a shout out to our high-quality inspectors. We've got our top-line tier inspectors. We got Brock Nope, Han Slomo, Coach D, the Bugman, the Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Aaron Adams, Just Aaron, Darren Woodbury, Brett Arney, Pinsen, and Nick Citrullo. Thank you guys so much for your support. It is greatly appreciated. And of course, massive props to these absolute stallions, the all-star tier inspectors. We have Bruin Smash, Jason Ozzie, Bruin Connolly, Hyle E. Coyote, Adam Ella, Jonathan Harvey, Joel, Abraxion, Jacob Pratt, Tupton D. Tashi, D.A. Kingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots42, and Jeremy. You guys are absolute studs. I can't thank you enough, and go Bees.